Hello, 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 and welcome to Tuesday Night Love. I'm so excited for this time with you, and thank you so much for joining us. I want to make sure that this container, this safe space for you is created, and I want you to know that it's created in love, it's created with you in mind, it's created in support, and it's for those that are in leadership, those that are here to do great things, those that are influencers here on the planet that find themselves in a major life transition. Yes, I want to make sure I got the right people on the line. If that's you, you can raise your hand. Yes, thank you. I see you. I see you. I want you to know that this space is for people like you who are as powerful as they are weak, who is just as clear as they are confused. It's for you to come in this door feeling as courageous as you are, simply afraid what needs knocking. It's a safe space for you to be so sad and broken and also so excited, anticipating your what's next in this transition. I want you to know that this space is for you to move from this place of your current unknowing to a place of acceptance and rebirth and bliss and to your highest calling to do that which you were created to do. I'm so excited for you. Tonight, I have something planned for tonight. But more importantly, I want to give this space for you. I want to give this space for you to show up, for this place to be a space for you to show up and acknowledge what you're feeling and where you want to go and how you see yourself tonight and where you want to see yourself going. Tonight, I prepared how to let go. Letting go is an energetic, it's not an intellectual only exercise, okay? It's energetic, it's an alignment of the heart and alignment of the mind, and it takes time. Oftentimes, we want to let go right away. We intellectualize, we think we can let go, we think we can let go, but the heart is in alignment with that. And you will not be able to let go until that natural alignment take place. And for me, in my early weeks and months into the most major painful experience of my life, of a marriage that was on a pending of divorce, after 21 years, my heart, my prayers, everything wanted this relationship to work. And I would just get upset with myself. How many of you get upset with yourself when you have a hard time letting go of something you know is not good for you? Yes, yes, it hurts you. But I was having a hard time letting go. I was going through the grieving process back and forth of wanting my family and not wanting to give away that legacy, that one man, one woman for a lifetime that I dreamed of my children, for my children to have. I was now having to let go of that idea. I want you to think about that thing that you came on this call with, that's in your heart, that you know, Donna, I have to let go. I have to let go of this space. I have to let go of this belief. I have to let go of this thought. I have to let go of this idea because it's keeping me stuck. It's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible feeling when you're feeling stuck and unable to move forward. So I want to share this piece with you that was really dear to my heart. I had a very painful time, but I'm grateful that I took the pen and I wrote it. And it's called I Can Just Kick Myself. I could just kick myself when I desire to hear from him or see him or hold him or make love to him. I could just kick myself when I want to be near him. I say it's my heart, though broken in 1,000 pieces, has imprinted on every broken piece a love for him. He's captured my heart, and every fiber has been touched by him. So no matter how small the pieces, They still scream for him. I could just kick myself. But instead, I'll be patient with myself. I'll love myself. For if I love myself, I won't hurt myself until my heart and my mind agree that it's time to let go. Yes. For you, maybe you need to be kind to yourself. Maybe right now, you need to be more loving to yourself around this area that you know you need to let go of. Maybe it's tonight that you will be more understanding with yourself and give yourself grace. I want you to breathe in a deep breath with me, because that's deep what I just read. And I want you to breathe in and let that go. Just join me one more deep cleansing breath. Deep, breathe in and let that go. The idea is letting go isn't easy. It's energetic. It's not just the mind, it's the heart. So just be loving with yourself as you go through this road of letting go. The road to letting go is something, kind of depicted here, usually starts with an ending. Something has come to an end in our lives, in our relationships, in our business, in our finances. Something has come to an end. Our normal is no longer available to us. And when endings come, it's a normal human emotion for a lot of negative emotions to come up. Think about an ending that you know is in your life right now. That's probably the thing that you're still holding on to. And think about your emotions. Think about what you're feeling or what you felt in that moment or what you may be feeling right now or what you've suppressed. Oftentimes in endings, we tend to suppress what we're feeling. We tend to deny what we're feeling. We tend to minimize what we're feeling. But I want you to get present with what emotions have come up for you in your ending. For me, in my ending, it was very sad. I had a lot of disappointment. I had a lot of sadness. I had a lot of shame, and rejection was huge on my journey in my ending. Think about yours. This road that starts with an ending have a lot of roadblocks. Many of them are mental roadblocks. A vast majority are emotional roadblocks. Some may be relational roadblocks, financial roadblocks, spiritual roadblocks. There could be a plethora of roadblocks that show up on the way. But the idea is to move from that ending as succinctly as possible without getting stuck onto acceptance. So the idea is the quicker you can get to acceptance, is the quicker you can get to your highest calling, to redesigning your life, to rebirth. The longer we stay in the negative emotions, the longer we stay stuck, the longer it's going to take us to go into acceptance. How many of you know people that have gone through some challenging times and 10 years later, they still have not moved to acceptance? They still have not moved to their rebirth. They get stuck in what I call the hallway of their in-between. Acceptance is a beautiful place. It's about letting go of the past you thought you wanted. I want you to repeat that out after me. Acceptance is letting go of the past you thought you wanted. It's about giving up the hope that the past could be any different. It's about, you can repeat after me, those that are listening to this live and those that will come later, I want you to get this deep down into your beingness. It's about giving up the hope, the desire, the expectation that the past could be any different. Yes, I see your hand raised. Yes, thank you. And it's all about making peace in your present moment. I think acceptance is a 3-part marriage, if you will. It's a 3-part connection, intertwined. Letting go of the past you thought you wanted, giving up the hope that the past could be any different. Hope, any expectation that it could have been any different. It could not have been anything but what it was. And making peace in your present moment. That's where you want to get. That's where you want to move through. You want to navigate through those roadblocks, all those negative emotions, all those feelings of being stuck until you land at that place. That's the promised land. Because it's from that place of acceptance that you can now begin to build your most amazing life. You can now experience the most amazing loving relationship that you could have ever imagined. You can now experience the abundance of good that's given to you. We got to let go. We can't hold on to what was and have what is at the same time. That's stuck. You can't have it both. So you got to be willing to let it go. Are you with me? We good?
Yes.
We're good. Thank you. Are you getting any value here tonight?
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm
I
grateful.
remember when I was repeating the acceptance is letting go of the past you thought you wanted. That was very interesting emotionally for me at a certain time. I was intellectualizing it for a long time until I realized I had to connect my thoughts and my feelings, but it was more around my feelings that when I realized it was more the energy from the thoughts that I was having.
Mm-hmm.
And once I was able to let go of the thought, the energy changed and moved me a little bit towards, I think the second stage is giving up the hope, being realistic, and later moving to making peace with what I was feeling, what the reality of the situation is, which got me towards to accepting that there is transition happening.
That's right. And one of the things, you reminded me of a powerful point, and that point is what you can do. The most powerful thing you can do at this moment is what you did. Change your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So you said it. And you also said, when I change my thoughts, we are so powerful to do that. When you change your thoughts, the emotions change, which moves you towards acceptance. That's powerful.
Right.
So yes.
And and just a little bit when you asked what emotions came up, one of the biggest things, and for a long time I couldn't face it. I couldn't look at it again. I couldn't go back. But the number one word emotion that came up for me in a situation just like you, 22 years married, and was devalued. That was huge. And the more that I tried to put some value or help let him see the value in me, the more he ignored and the more rejected I felt. And then it just jumped from being rejected to feeling to truth of being devalued, just total devalued.
Right.
And
That's
you
huge.
know,
Because our worth, we, especially as women, we are nurturers. We have the womb and we nurture things and we nurture our relationships. And we get a lot of our value out of the quality of the relationship that we're in, our most intimate relationships. And when the person that's most intimate, that's supposed to love us, reject us, it is very devaluing. Rejection. I felt like a neon sign was over my head that said rejection, 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 rejection. And that's a very, 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 very strong emotion that we have. So as we think about that roadmap from that ending to our highest calling, and closing that gap and getting us to acceptance. If there is one thing that you need to let go of tonight, what was that thing that came up in your heart, that may be there and preventing you to move to acceptance, and knowing that on the other side of acceptance is your breakthrough, is your rebirth, is your best story, is everything that you're waiting for and hoping for if you can move to acceptance. If you think about it, you can write it down. You don't have to share it. You could just write it down. Or if you like, you can share it. Whatever you feel best to do tonight, whatever feels safe for you to do, just be clear about what it is. Just take a pen and write it down if you like. Imagine you're writing it on this green board, not blackboard.
What came up for me that would that help me to let go was making peace. The third point, the third part of the marriage, you say the connection piece, was making peace with number one and number two, which is letting go and then give up the hope. And so that has helped me even currently in any situation. Just make peace where it is, the energy. It's all about energy for me now. And that it's not about disappointment, it's not about devalue, it's just what it is at that moment. So I'm able to let go because I know how to make peace with myself, and I keep that first, and loving myself. That if I don't do that first, then all these other things are going to come behind it. And that's what keeps me stuck. So I know how to make the peace with me, whatever comes. And if I can't find the peace, then I have to let it go,
Yes.
because it's not intellectual, it's not emotional, it's both of them combined, integrated together.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't have the peace, then I can't move forward.
Yes.
So I find the peace quickly because I don't spend and waste no time.
So you have your own strategy, and I think that's powerful, especially for those that may come and hear this later. What strategy will they use to get to their own peace, their internal alignment, so that they can move forward? It's exciting when you think about what's next, the rebirth. It gets you in a place of wanting to navigate those landmines that you may stay in if you don't get to that place of peace. So that is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. So I'm going to share some common factors that keep you holding on, and keep me holding on, and keep others holding on. And I want you to circle a few that you may have dealt with in the past, or those that you may be even dealing with in your current moment that have come up for you. So resistance. What does resistance look like? Resistance look like it has taken place, and you're no, you're not denial. It didn't take place. You're resisting the fact of what is in that present moment. You're not going with the flow of it. You're going against the flow of it. So there are people that resist. They just resist that change that come up, and they just want to stay stuck. They want to hold on to what was. They're looking at the closed door, if you will. Yeah. People that are unable to process endings. And a mindset around life has a birth. The cycle of life comes with endings and rebirths. And it's just a cycle. We have to be able to embrace the cycle of life. The birth, the endings, the rebirth. It's a cycle. So know that most things end. Yes. Things have ebbs and flows and beginnings and endings and new beginnings. And know that your new beginning doesn't come unless there is an ending. Your next level, something has to end And anytime there's growth, something has to end. A mindset has to end. A way of behavior has to end. To go to what's next, know that endings are part of life. And if we can wrap our head around that, then we will be able to better get unstuck. We will be able to better let go of those things that we need to let go. Mindset and beliefs keeps us stuck. Well, I thought that marriage was supposed to last forever. It's supposed to be one man and one wife. And it's not God's, God doesn't like that. God hates me for divorcing. And these types of mindsets keeps us holding on to things that are keeping us from our rebirth and our best lives and our highest callings, because we stay and we hold on to those things. Old wounds. We lick our wounds, and we keep rehashing the hurt, and we keep rehashing what happened to us. And all of those types of things are designed to keep us holding on to what was and stuck and unable to move to acceptance. Unforgiveness is huge. Unforgiveness. What unforgiveness is not. It doesn't mean that that person didn't do something or you didn't do something. It just means you're not going to hold on to it anymore. You're going to release them from it. You're going to release yourself from it so that you can be free to move on. If you hold on to unforgiveness and letting go, you can't do both. Unforgiveness keeps you stuck. So when you think about these things, blame. Anytime your left hand is blaming and your right hand wants to go forward, you're stuck. Okay? And another big one is indecision. We won't make a decision to move forward. And I want you to know a decision, it could be a powerful yes or a powerful no. You just have to make a decision. As long as you are indecision, your energy seeps out and it keeps you stuck. You're like double-minded. You're going back and forth, back and forth. You may say, I'm going to make a decision not to decide now. Breathe that in. That's powerful. Or you may say, I'm going to make a decision to take action A and do it. But as long as you're in indecision, you're stuck and you can't let go. You're going to keep holding on. Fear that comes in many forms. Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of not having enough, fear of the unknown. Yeah, see your hand raised. Fear is huge. People are holding on because they're afraid of that future, the unknown. It's very familiar. When we're in a familiar place, it's easy for us. When we're in a familiar place, it's easy for us to know the rules of that place. Even though it's a painful, unfamiliar place, at least we know the rules. We know the buttons. We know the responses that we should expect. We know if I do A, I'm going to get B. But when we move to the uncertain place, that's when fear really raises its head and we get stuck. Okay? And then there are other ways that keeps us holding on and unable to let go. And that is someone that has no vision or no dream. Life may have beat you up to the point where you stop dreaming. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to not dream anymore, but just to go through the motions of life. So I want you to know that without a dream and without a vision, you're stuck. You need something. This is one of the greatest times. Transition is one of the most magical times of our life. It's the most painful. It's the most fearful. It's the most, a lot of negative emotion shows up. But on top of that, it's also an opportunity for you to have that blank canvas where you can begin to paint the colors that you want to paint, where you begin to design your masterpiece of the masterpiece of your life. Yes, there is that space between your current reality and the life that you were really meant to live. And that life that you were meant to live, you can create it. You can consciously create it from a place of power where you're connected. The best thing that you can do is to stay connected. And we'll get a little bit, talk a little bit more about that down the road. I talked a little bit about fear. You have to face your fear. Because if you own the story, you can write the ending. You have to face your fear. You have to be able to face the fear that shows up. You have to face your current reality. You have to face your present moment. You have to face the past and be okay with it, with no judgment. You have to stand in that mirror and face it. Breathe in if you have to. Maybe have someone hold your hand if you have to. It's like going into a dark, scary space. But you can go there. Yes, I see your hand raised. Yes, you have to be able to face your greatest fear. If you face your fear, it frees you to move forward because you come to an acceptance of what was. You see your past and you see your present with no judgment. It is something that may have happened to you. You can have that mindset, or you can have the mindset, it's something that happened for me. And I like the for me because the for me says, I can use this very experience, this very painful, very devaluing, very, all of the emotions that you may feel, I can use this experience to support my beyond as I write my most beautiful masterpiece of my own story. We agree? Yes. You have to face your fear in order to let go. And I think another thing you have to do is define your disruptor. When you are in a space of an ending and all these negative emotions come up, you ruminate over and over thoughts in your head, over and over and over and over again. You have to know what your disruptor is that can stop those thinking, that type of thinking. You have to know what that disruptor is that can get you moving in a different direction, in a different mindset. You have to know what your disruptor is to get you past that fear, past your excuses, or past anything that may show up as one of the roadblocks along the way to your acceptance. For me, this is a powerful disruptor for me. I've adopted it as part of my life philosophy, and it is Arthur Ashe's quote, use what you have, start where you are, and do what you can. That's all required of you. We spend a lot of time thinking about, concerned about those things that we don't have, the things that we don't have to get started, all the limitations. If we were just to focus on what's in our hand and what can we do in this moment right now, that's all required of us. That is a powerful disruptor. If you want, you can borrow mine. Do you have a disruptor? Think about it if you haven't. Maybe ask God, ask the universe to give one that you know will get you in action every single time. Define your disruptor. So you know, you're aware of what those things are. Yeah, I see your hand raised. You are aware of what shows up for you. You are now aware that you have to face your fear. You have to define your disruptor. And I think the most powerful part of this journey is to make a commitment to your power and your path. You said earlier about yourself, coming in, understanding, and coming to peace with yourself. This is the most powerful thing you could do, because if you can connect with yourself, you connect with the source. You can connect with the God of the universe. Oftentimes we spend time outside of ourselves trying to find the answers to stop the pain. However, the answer, you might can find support, and you might can find help, and you might can find love, And you might can find someone that will walk side beside of you. But the most powerful person is looking in the mirror at you. When you make that commitment to your power and to your path, it will loosen that thing you want to let hold on to. You'll be like, oh no, this not, I'm making a connection here. I'm going this way. This stuff has to go. So you start being aware of who you're being. I have 3 questions that I always use to redefine in that moment who I'm going to be at my best, how I'm going to show up in my life. And I call it purpose. I ask these 3 questions. Who am I? Why am I here? And who is God? Write those 3 down. Who am I? Why am I here? And who is God? Spend time in that space connecting with the answers. And what comes up for you, that's the path that you get on. We have lots of work that we do in helping people find these answers to their practical. I'm a practical, I call myself a practicalist. I'm a spiritual practicalist. You have to be able to ask these questions not from a heady and a spiritual way, but you have to be able to apply it. Things like finding your passion, understanding your strengths, understanding your value systems, all those things. What are your motivators? Understanding that you may have talent, and talent is not enough. You need something that drives you and motivates you to keep moving. So this is a third point that you can have to move you to allow you to let go. You face your fears, you define your disruptor, and you make a powerful commitment to your path and to your source, to your power, to the core of your being. These 3 things will get you closer to acceptance. Yeah.
That's what happened. That's what happened to me once I made the commitment to honor my power and never to feel devalued, because I am valued just by virtue of being a human being here on this earth, good, bad, or indifferent. I am valued in more ways than I can even imagine. And that was one of the things that kept me from being stuck. And every time I would ruminate on those thoughts over and over and over, I would never want to come back to that word devalued, because it was the opposite of my energy and what I knew about myself. And it would make me so excited and bring me so much inner peace and joy that I tapped into that, and I stayed on that and stay on that even now.
Yes.
To help me keep moving forward to my best me. No, I say my greatest me.
Your greatest.
That broken place, that love, that marriage that ended, it that person helped me while they was being the best them. It helped me to become the greatest me. And the more I thought about that, I say my value will never be low. Even
Never.
in my lowest point, I'm still valuable.
You made a point there, and I think it's very important, especially in relationship, that we understand that people show up on this planet and they do the best they can, that we leave them in their dignity. We
Yep.
don't have to make them the bad guy or the bad girl. Let's leave them
Mm-hmm.
in their dignity, because they too are on a journey of discovery. They too are on the journey of those roadblocks. They had endings that they haven't been able to overcome. Maybe they lost parents, whatever that thing is, we don't know. But let's leave our former relationships in love. Let's cover them in love and leave them in dignity. That's powerful.
Absolutely. Yep. Now that was power.
That's powerful. And, just to be able to do that is a powerful statement of your power and of your worth. I'm worth it. I'm so worth it that my definition of worth could not have come from this place. This person, you and I, we all had brokenness, and we continue to have broken areas. Not we are broken people, we just have broken areas that we haven't come to acceptance on yet.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have a lot of areas that they haven't come to acceptance. We may be growing and maturing along the journey. Those of us that are maturing, we know how to come to acceptance quicker. That's the difference. So let's continue on this path of our power, of changing our story, of relating powerfully to the God of the universe. I can't teach without talking about God. Spirituality is one of my greatest values. So we're going to be wrapping it up. And as we wrap it up, one thing about me, people know I'm bold actions. So as you see the flags, okay, it's time to go. Okay, it's time to keep it. It's time to move it. So what's one action you can take today? Not next week, today. Maybe it's a mindset that will move you towards acceptance. No action, no movement towards acceptance. If there's no action, and
Make
that action
peace.
could be a mindset. So, what is that one action? You can write it down, you can share it, or you can write it down and be clear about what is that one action that you can take and be able to do that, move into acceptance. This is a framework. This framework works in endings for relationship. This framework works in endings for contracts. This framework works for endings in finances or what might show up in your life. This is a framework that you can use and apply it practically in any area of your life where you need to move from ending to acceptance. Would you agree?
Agree.
You would you agree? Yes. So let's make it practical in our everyday life. I hope this was something of value to you that you can use in life, not just tonight, but anytime that you have to move forward, anytime that you have to come face to face with an ending. Some endings are more major, some are more painful, some are more life changing than others. But in any case, you can move forward. You can move to your greatest life. You can navigate that hallway between your current circumstance to the life that you were meant to live. So thank you so much for joining. I'm going to have a breakthrough retreat on August 24th. I'm still trying to come up with the details of that, but it would be a half-day retreat, half to a full day. I'm still trying to come up with the details where I'll bring people together who are ready. They may be on different levels on that road to acceptance, on the bliss, but they are on that journey to their highest call, to their greatest self, the way that you described it. So thank you so much for joining. I hope you'll come back again on another Tuesday Night Love. And I hope this was of value to you. Thank you. God bless you. You have any questions? Any comments?
I want to
Your
thank you
greatest
for this
takeaway.
opportunity.
Will you share your
For
greatest takeaways too? Thank you.
I wanted to thank you for this opportunity to be here tonight, because even though I have let go and moved into a different relationship after 9 years, I still find myself occasionally with my common factors was fear and old wounds, and making a decision. But I had to let it go by using those first three parts, connecting, letting go, give up the hope, and then making peace, even at a different level. So my greatest takeaway is that I continue to make peace quickly before you get a chance to, as I say, savor the flavor of that ruminating thought.
I love that. I'm going to use that. Don't savor the flavor of that ruminating thought.
That's
On that
right.
note, that is powerful. I love that.
Mm.
Thank you so much for sharing. And if you know people that you think might find value, that are on their journey of endings into acceptance and on to their highest calling, have them join us. Go to our website, iamdonnabarr.com, live support. I'm a coach. If you need coaching, if you need support on this journey, I'm going to open up some one-on-one slots probably in August or early September, one-on-one coaching slots where I will help you navigate that space, walk hand in hand with you, provide you strategies and tools, support and accountability to your greatest self. Okay? Thank you for joining,
Thank you.
and see you next time. Game on.